Hey everybody, how's it going? So I'm sure as you all know, there's a legendary Berreta 1301 Tactical. It came out several years ago and became very famous for its reliability, smooth functioning, and a cheaper price point than the Benelli M4. Berreta then recently, a few years ago, came out with their newest model, the Berreta a300 Ultima Patrol. This is the Canadian edition, so the tube can only hold 5 rounds, sadly. I'm going to break down some of these basics for you. The big difference between the A300 and 1301 is the bolt. The bolt extractor, the A300 is a straight pull, whereas the 1301 is a twist, so the bolt carrier twists as it releases the shell, whereas this goes straight back, no twist, giving the 1301 a very slight advantage for foul shooting, where it can handle lighter loads, whereas the A300 could have more of a potential for jamming. I personally never had these issues, but that's easier to say. Starting off with the top of the A300, we have a nice chrome barrel. We have large sight here. We got, of course, our M-lock full on the handguard. This handguard is super textured, even aggressively textured in a lot of ways, as you can see running down here. It's super good for wet conditions, ice, snow, so that your gloves don't slip, or foul shooting in the mud. Going lower, we have massive, oversized controls. Berreta did an amazing job down here, where they made these controls super huge, super easy to manage. We have a pick rail on top here for mount. You can mount a sight, a scope, whatever. We have running down. Another difference between the A300 and 1301 is the spring. So with the 1301, the recoil spring is up here in the chamber, so you can easily remove the stock. Whereas for the Berreta A300, this one here, the recoil spring runs down into the stock here, giving you a much harder time if you want to change out the stock. So I'm gonna run through this a little bit. We got large, oversized controls. We have a Picatinny rail on the top. Overall, the gun has a lot of polymer, a military grade polymer. We have all up here, the handguard is polymer. Our stock is polymer. Down here, the trigger guard is polymer. Our charging handle is polymer. So there is a lot of polymer to this gun, which if you prefer metal, I totally get that, and I do too. But you gotta remember, this is not cheap polymer. This is good military grade plastic. Of course, the barrel's metal. We have the whole chamber. Everything here is all metal. The trigger's metal, obviously. And overall, it appears to be a pretty good gun. I was a little skeptical at first because it is several $100s cheaper than the 1301. But it has held up amazingly well. I'm going to include a video down in the comments of me rapid firing this gun. I will do another update when I reach 1,000 rounds. I've so far shot 500 rounds through this and I've had no issues. When I reach 1,000 rounds, I'll give you guys another update on everything, and then we can see from there. So far, this has had no issues. I've shot dirty loads, hot loads, I've shot everything. I've shot slugs, double-aught buck, bird shot, it rapid fired it. And in this one, the tube holds 5, plus 1 in the chamber, and 7 if you go slowed, 1 down here. It is by pressing the bottom button here, the bolt holds back, and this button right here is the bolt release. So it's really good. So I'm going to break down a little bit about these controls. What I love about these big controls here is I'm in Canada, so it gets freezing in the winters here, up to like -40, -30. And in those winters, your hands get so numb that if you have a shotgun with small controls, it's sometimes hard trying to find those buttons. Whereas with a big one like this, if my hands are freezing cold, I can still easily do it with no problem. You know, like even if my fingers are frostbitten or can't bend, I can still, do it. It's pretty easy. And that's what I love about this massive charger handle on the side. This just massive feeding port down here. The Berreta actually cut out the trigger assembly a bit to give it this, I don't know if you can see, to give it this slope here for quad loading. It's super good. It helps insanely. Of course, it's the same as the 1301. It has a cross bolt safety, as you can see. yeah, I think that's just about it. I'm gonna include a video. This is part 1. I'll include part 2 of a full disassembly of this gun. This is just the overall impressions, the outside. 500 rounds, no jams, no failures to feed, nothing. It's been a perfect gun. Overall, it feels really reliable, really solid. This is a 18.5-inch barrel, which I prefer for close quarters and long range. This is both an extremely good gun if you want a survival gun, a hunting gun, and something for security. And it holds enough that it's really some serious firepower. So those are my initial thoughts on the Berreta A300 Ultimate Patrol. I will include another video, keep your eyes out for part 2, where I will do a full takedown of the gun, take everything apart, and teach you all how to disassemble it. As is, Berreta A300. I have no affiliation with Berreta. They don't pay me anything. I paid full price for this gun, so I'm simply giving my opinion. Is this gun worth the money? And I would say yes. Here in Canada, it's about $1,500, whereas the 1301 is about $1,900. So we're talking a $400 difference. And I would say the two contesters that really outperform this gun would be the 1301, Berreta 1301, and the Benelli M4. Those two are certainly superior guns, but the Benelli M4 costs nearly $3,000. So that's why I would recommend a Berreta A300 first, because you can buy two of them for the price of one Benelli M4. So that's my impression. Should you buy the A300 or should you pay the extra amount and buy the 1301? And here's what I'm going to tell you. The 1301 has a slightly better barrel, so it will last longer. The 1301 has a rotating bolt extractor, so that is easier to handle smaller loads such as foul shot, light bird shot, whereas this is just straight back. So those honestly are the two big differences with the A300 and 1301. There's a couple of other things where the A300 uses polymer and the 1301 uses metal. So it's really up to you. I personally think the 1301 is just as good or the A300 is just as good as the 1301. But that's my personal opinion, and you guys, and let me know in the comments, like if you've had any experiences with one or the other, let me know. I'd love to hear all about it. So I think that's all for today, and I'm gonna close it up, and then I will release a part 2 about a full disassembly of the Berreta A300 Ultimate Patrol. So far, it's held amazing. No complaints, no issues, and I highly recommend getting a Berreta A300.